Hey everybody, this is Darren Van Damme and you are watching Flick Connection, the show that helps you get more out of movies, and today I'm going to tell you all about the new Netflix original Bird Box. The new Netflix original movie, A Quiet Place. The new Netflix original movie, The Silence. So The Silence is actually based on a book very similar to last year's A Quiet Place. In fact, the book came out well before A Quiet Place, and it's very likely that the book inspired the script for A Quiet Place, and it's really not uncommon for studios to produce similar movies like this back to back, and what you get is a apocalyptic scenario where these monsters, similar to bats, can hear and will attack whatever they hear. They can't see. Similar to the A Quiet Place monsters. So I'm going to compare the two a little bit, but really just try to give you a review on this movie with no spoilers. So The Silence stars Kiernan Shipka, I think I'm saying that right. She currently stars in The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, also on Netflix. And when she was younger, she was the bratty kid on Mad Men. And she does a good job here. She's a pretty good actress, especially to be as young as she is. She plays a deaf girl, but a girl who sort of went deaf in her teenage years. I found that it didn't really play into the movie that much. Like, yes, they're using sign language a lot. It didn't seem to be like the crux of anything significant. And then her father is played by Stanley Tucci, who is one of the greatest character actors working today. Like, he does a really great job with really interesting characters. Unfortunately, his character in this movie is not that interesting. He's just sort of a dad. Yes, he has to deal with some stuff. There is some interesting elements to his character, but nowhere near what he's capable of. Honestly, this is one of his more boring roles, but it's pretty straightforward. There's really nothing wrong with his role. He's just underutilized here. I'll go ahead and say this movie is definitely made for teens. Now, there's plenty to enjoy. In fact, I think fans of A Quiet Place are going to enjoy this movie. It is not nearly as good. There are some elements that are maybe a little bit better, but overall, A Quiet Place is the better movie. It's put together better. I think the monsters are scarier. In fact, if you want a full breakdown, later today I'm also releasing a video on the differences between the two so that you get a good comparison. You may want to wait till you watch The Silence for that one because there are going to be some spoilers in that one. Now, one of the good things about The Silence in comparison to A Quiet Place is it basically shows us what we missed in A Quiet Place. A Quiet Place fast forwards in time, the apocalyptic event has already taken place, and the people that are left are trying to survive. This shows what I guess we'll call the outbreak of these monsters immediately. And so you do get a lot of things that you would not have gotten out of a movie like A Quiet Place. And I liked that. That's another reason I think fans of A Quiet Place, I know I keep saying that title, but I think fans of that movie are going to like that aspect of The Silence. There are also comparisons to Bird Box. I consider this one to be a little bit lesser than Bird Box as well, mainly because it is more aimed at teens. It's a little bit safer, not in a major way, not in a way that ruins the movie, but it's a little safer than Bird Box because of that. And to me, that makes for a lesser movie, just in the sense that I think it's well worth watching, but it's not necessarily going to be worth rewatching. Not that I particularly want to rewatch Bird Box, but I could see where people maybe fell in love with that movie a little bit more. There was maybe a little bit more to grab onto. And this one's a little bit thinner in terms of just the themes that it has to offer up. And then I had issues with certain survival elements. For instance, they're not really all that quiet in the first half of the movie. There's a scenario where everybody just goes to sleep when they very clearly, somebody should be keeping watch. Just stuff like that doesn't make sense. I mean, I get it if it was in the book, but it does not make sense on screen. Phones continue to work for a really long time, way longer than they probably really would. But that's starting to get where I start to nitpick. The movie does have some good sequences, and I did find it entertaining and enjoyable. I just kind of wanted more from it the whole way through, but I think most of this stuff is symptoms of it being sort of targeted at a younger audience. Not that it's dumbed down, but it is a little bit simplified, and it does hold your hand a little bit more than movies that I tend to gravitate towards. And just as a side note, I don't really understand what the deal is with everyone struggling to pay for college in movies. It's as if student loans don't exist in movie land. Every movie with a teenager in it has a parent that is like going to extremes to pay for college. Again, that's introduced in the beginning of the movie, and it's really irrelevant. Obviously, among the apocalypse, college is no longer relevant, but it's always a struggle to pay for college, and it's always some school that everyone in the country has heard of. If it's not an Ivy League school, it's NYU. That immediately takes me out of a movie now. It's way overdone, way overused, and again, completely unnecessary here. Ultimately, what I came away with this movie is the desire to watch better movies, like A Quiet Place, like The Birds by Alfred Hitchcock, because there are multiple sequences very similar to what happens in The Birds, and The Birds is just way better in terms of the way it's crafted. It's slower and really draws out the dread and builds tension way better than anything in here. This is actually done by the director of Annabelle, and he's not a very good director. He does a good job, I guess, at making sure people show up on time, keeping things under budget, fulfilling what's in the script. But as far as creativity and the way things are shot and blocked out, it's television, it's TV. This is a 90-minute TV show, but if you're interested in the subject matter, if you like the other movies that I'm talking about, I think you will like this one. Again, it's not as good as the movies that it is related to, but it's good enough, and that's about the best I can say for this one. But at the end of the day, at least it's way better than The Happening.
What? No.
If you like this video, definitely click that subscribe button and be sure to click the little bell icon so you get notified when I put out new videos just like this one. But if you'd like to support the channel, you can become a Patreon supporter like one of these fine people. You can also check out my podcast. There's a link to that in the description as well. Just another way to get additional movie reviews, informal movie reviews, recommendations, and some other really fun stuff. So check out that channel as well. But I will keep making videos like this as long as you keep watching them. Thanks for checking this one out, and you will see me on the next one.